talking about polarity. I know we were saying that we love the positive polarity. Obviously, that is what we are working on in our ascension path.
Always striving for love and light.
Always, always. So you brought up a good point when we were having our coffee this morning in discussion, that really there are two paths you can choose, and neither is really correct or incorrect necessarily.
Exactly. Yeah, we were talking about just the difference in polarity. So essentially what we were discussing was there's love and light, and then you can assume there's the other end of the spectrum. What would we call that?
Kind of the darkness. I mean, not that it's necessarily always has to be associated with the darkness, but it's really a service. A good way to understand it is your service to self would be the negative polarity, and the service to others would be the positive polarity. Obviously, positively polarized beings would be extending things, extending love, extending their light. You'd really notice that when a positively polarized individual, human being walks into a room, you'd feel a magnetic pull. There'd be a light around them. You just get like super attracted to them, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a light and moth. They're just drawn.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's magnetic. So you're going to feel that real pull towards that person. And that's usually an indication that they are very positively polarized. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we have the negative polarity.
The darkness. Yes. Which isn't wrong. That's the one thing that we've been discussing a lot lately. There's learnings in both polarities, and I think if you can go from a standpoint without so much judgment, it just makes the experience overall greater. But definitely love and light is where we tend to stick, but we're never hard on ourselves because we are humans, and that's part of the human experience, is that we're meant to dabble and experience different things and see what works for us and see what works for our souls.
Exactly. So, and what we're saying with this is that every soul kind of has its own evolutionary process. So this is where, again, non-judgment is really great as well, because when we judge someone else's path, we don't really always understand all the nuances of it. And that can be, again, that will cause us, even if we're wanting to be positively polarized, judgment will cause us to jump over into that negative polarity.
Yes. Can we actually go over that for a second? Judgment, jealousy, things like that. What would you say, for those who don't understand energy, what would you say that does to a human body containing that emotional state for a long frequency of time?
Yeah, absolutely. So we know that thoughts, so our imagination, our mind, our collective consciousness, and our individual consciousness is really what is creating the three-dimensional world. So if you think about how your thoughts correlate to different states of being or emotional states, and I always love to think of energy in motion. So emotion is what is really the catalyst for what we see in our outside world. How I can explain this easily, if we're trying to think about our moods, is when you're in a really positive mood, so when you're in a state of love, reverence, compassion, patience, joy, admiration of others, you're going to be calibrating at a very high frequency, and you're actually going to feel a ton of energy. Now, there's a caveat to this. If you are a naturally polarized negative being, which means you like, or your home frequency is really energized in that negative lower vibrational field, then you will actually feel more exhausted when you're around positive people. It might just feel like you just have to get away, or you want to zero in on one or two positive people and kind of suck their energy, if that makes sense. That's kind of, unfortunately, those of the negative polarity.
They do. Energy vampires.
Yes.
And I don't even know if they actually know they are.
No, I don't think. I think they do and they don't. I think they know why they're attracted to one or two individuals, and then they really almost have this laser beam set on their energies, and they want to almost consume their energy, or they need to really watch where that person is, kind of.
Always. Yeah, energy vampires too. The interesting thing about that is, are you guys aware if you have an energy vampire in your life? Because what I find is a lot of people within humanity, there's just this unknowing factor. It's like they feel like they're capable to do so much and they have these big dreams and these goals, but due to whoever influences their day, it makes it really difficult for them to have the energy to go from their, I want to say, survival to creation almost.
I love that. And that's really about tuning into your soul's frequency and your purpose here. When you are in your home frequency, when you know what you're here to do, you're going to feel very energized. So that's another thing as well. Like, if we really haven't covered some of the emotions that catalyze the negative polarity. So I want to do that first. Definitely. So if an entity or if a human being is, highly negatively polarized, and again, we're not in judgment of this, we're just teaching the way that duality works. So they would be somebody that would complain a lot. They would have a lot of that victim mentality. They could be very cruel, so they could be a bit of a bully, and they really enjoy tearing others down. They could be a narcissist. So narcissists, again, everything has to be about them. They'll talk a lot about themselves. They won't listen to other people. That can be kind of a narcissistic trait. And then you have like the far end of the spectrum where people are really violent and angry and full of hate. So any of those sort of low vibrational energy fields are going to really affect, people that are kind of on the positive spectrum or kind of on the neutral spectrum, even if they're really asleep. So they're just totally unaware to all of this. But I love how you brought up, Roxy, if you've ever, just felt like the wind was knocked out of your sails. And this, I feel, is like a message for a lot of people that haven't started thinking about the polarities or thinking about their energy field. But how can you explain, Roxy, how you feel when you're in a room with somebody that's a bit of an energy vampire? What does it do to you?
Oh my goodness. Can I actually put in one piece before that question? Is when dealing with an energy vampire. So before, I didn't know this, but my soul needed protection. So what's been the game changer for me so that I'm not affected by anybody else's energy is before I even leave my place, I do a visualization. I picture the white aura around me. I do my breaths, and I always intend, and I say, I'm going in with my light, I'm lighting up the place, and I'm leaving with only my energy.
I love it.
So by proclaiming that, that's been such a game changer for me. I recommend everybody can do their own little twist. There's no wrong or right way to do it, but just by having that intention, knowing and leaving that your energy is just there to light it up, because I'm definitely not an energy vampire. I think maybe I did have my stage where maybe victim mentality was at play, because you're like, poor me, why is everyone being so mean? I feel misunderstood. And it's like, you know what, you're just not in the right room. You got to find your people. So
and that's a great point. I love how you brought that up, because there's not like a certain path or not a certain state where somebody is like locked into a track. So somebody can be on the negatively polarized spectrum for almost all of their life, and then they can have this great awakening where they just get it, and they're like, wow, all of this negativity and hard things in my life, frustrating things are just happening around me, but they don't realize it's the frequency of their thoughts that
they're emitting
and
attracting.
Yes. Like attracts like. So you have to remember that whatever you are holding within your energy field is what you're going to see basically manifesting outside of yourself. So it's so important that you watch your thoughts and you become the change that you want to see in the world. On the micro, which we're at the micro level, we need to fix this vessel first before we see our heaven manifest on earth, essentially, right?
Absolutely. It's definitely a need. The healing, the raising of the frequency, the little practices you have to do to align yourself, the grounding. Don't get me started on grounding.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit about how anybody can ground themselves, because life's a little crazy. Things get a little chaotic out there.
Totally. How do you ground yourself, Barb?
How do I ground myself? Well, one thing that I do, I know you were just talking about how you protect your energy. I like to spend a lot of time alone. So I will write, I will get into my creative space. I know you love to paint, right? Yeah. So putting on music that energizes you, dancing, for me, dancing is
love dancing
huge.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
See you dancing.
Every day you've got to be dancing.
Yeah.
So you'll know for yourself what are the things that you can do that will energize your system, the things that will just make you smile. You know, when you are in that flow state where you just feel like, I don't know, like you're a 7-year-old kid and you're jumping around.
Your child is playing, for sure.
Yeah.
Feeling safe in its adult version form.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like, I love the metaphor of Peter Pan. Peter Pan kind of got it right, or Disney got it right. You know, you can fly if you think you can fly. But what we do as we grow up is that we start to forget to use our imagination. We start to forget that inner child and all of the magic that exists in the world. And then we become compounded by this oppressive kind of mediocrity and also complexity that the outside world brings us. So really another great grounding practice is just letting your inner child out.
Yeah, singing is so good.
You love to sing.
I love singing. Yeah, you do too. we love doing everything together.
Really, that's the stuff that makes life amazing. When you can create, anytime you're in a creative flow, you're going to be grounded and you're also going to be lifted at the same time.
Yes.
So one thing that's really important for any human being out there that is looking to transform their life is to really get back to your home frequency. So that your home frequency is where you're the happiest, and then go towards the things that lift you up. So ascension, resurrection, all of these things just really at their core mean the lifting up of your soul and your being.
Yes. And knowing what's your thing too. I know for me, there was a long time in my life where I didn't even actually really know what it is I liked and what I loved, because I felt like I had so many external factors pulling and telling me what to do, like my whole entire life. So with that being said, you'll know what resonates with you. It's like the things that you consistently think about, or they're just always in the back of your mind, or you talk about wanting to do it. But it's funny, we can get in this loop of not. So by just taking it and anchoring it and making your spaces set up for it, those are really great steps to just ensure, okay, maybe I have some playtime in the week. Some people like to do it daily. I like to do it daily.
You gotta do it daily.
Yeah, you gotta play daily.
But also the thing is, you know, not being too attuned to like expectations. Expectations are the killer of dreams. Literally. Like if you have all of these voices that you listen to in the outside world saying, you've got to do this, you've got to be this is where your integrity lies. You know, to be a good person, you have to have your life unfold this way. That is very stifling and it is soul killing.
Yeah.
You need to follow your own path, and you need to be brave enough to listen to, you know, whoever is inside here, your heart, your soul. You can't worry about all those external voices, because again, that is kind of your ego getting in the way of your divine path. So again, it's a really simple algorithm when we talk about happiness. What makes you happy is the right path. The things that make your soul sing are the things that are right, are the things that are correct, and they're actually the things that God wants for you. Yes. And when you feel like the outside world or expectations or those around you are trying to shove you into a box and you actually feel diminished and that your light is growing dimmer, that means you are not on the right path. Even if everybody tells you and society tells you and, you know, your parents, etc., tell you that this is the path you're supposed to be on, it's just, you know, go within.
Yes, go within. Can we talk about going within, actually? Meditation.
Yes. Okay. Because I think for a lot of people, especially people that have not necessarily entered the spiritual path yet, this can be like a really crazy concept. Meditation, you envision monks or like some gurus like sitting there in the lotus pose or something. Really, meditation, all it means is just really settling into your core home frequency and then getting rid of all the distractions and the worries. Just getting rid of that list in your head, or that inner dialogue in your head that's chirping away at you, telling you you're not good enough, or telling you that other people aren't good enough, or you need to attack them, or you need to protect yourself against them. All of this negative verbal dialogue, quieting that and just going into a place of either silence and kind of a blissful spinning of your mind, or visualization. I tend to love visualization because it's more fun.
Yes, you love the imagination.
I love the imagination. I love the imagination. But that's also, in that imaginatory field is where you are allowed and supposed to create your dream life. And you can make it as fantastic and really like earth-shattering as you can possibly imagine. And then the whole point of manifestation and the law of attraction is to surrender and trust and let God do what God's going to do. So let's talk about a little bit, Roxy, of your experience with manifestation.
You are talking about one of my favorite topics ever. I think for as long as I can remember, I've been trying my whole life to convince friends, family, everyone around me, strangers, like everyone. I'm like, manifest, manifest, manifest. But the other thing is too, with manifestation, I think a good topic to kind of discuss is what is manifestation and how do you actually complete the cycle? Because what I've noticed in today's world is manifestation, it's almost like they just scratch the surface, but they don't talk about every single step that it requires for a manifestation to smoothly glide through. So manifestation, I've been manifesting, I would say, since I was like in my early teens.
Probably like, since you were born.
Probably,
truly.
Yeah, truly. I would say I learned about like the magic and energies though, and then it was like learning how to make something come faster. So using your energy to magnetize a manifestation to come quicker. The one thing that I realized that I wasn't aware of when I was really, really young was having the emotional state as if it has already happened.
Yes.
So not like being desperate, being like, I really want this to happen for me. This needs to come, like, please, like begging. It's almost like when you're in that neediness, it's like, we're going to make you wait a little longer because you're being desperate.
Because you're not walking in faith. And that's the whole message of spirituality, is to let go and let God. And whether you believe, like, it doesn't matter what book you read, let go and let God just means that you are surrendering to the unfoldment of life, and you're trusting the process, and you're trusting that at every moment the universe knows exactly what you need, because there may be a small deficit or a few still residing within you that need to be fixed before the all-encompassing wonderment of your manifestation unfolds exactly as it's meant to.
There's always groundwork too. That's the other thing.
Yes.
The bigger the manifestation, the more groundwork. And and definitely getting, I feel like love and light, I don't know. Obviously anyone can manifest. It doesn't matter which polarization you're in.
Absolutely, yes.
But I do find for me, love and light, when I'm doing that, it's quite a much better experience.
It is. And actually, I want to put something, more, add something more to that. So if you are really negatively polarized, you can manifest very well as well.
They can.
The darkness, the dark energies, the dark black magicians out there, they can certainly move mountains as well. But it's important to note that anything that's done with a positive polarity will be much more powerful. And this is just, it's just the way that our universe is set up.
It's like a match in a dark room.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The light just
see it.
It has much more power. So when you are wanting to manifest really great things, here's a few of my tips, and then I'll ask a few of your tips. So, and little Riley here, she's just like, it's a rainy day here at the ranch. She's just like cuddling right now. She loves this.
I don't think I've stopped petting her all the time.
But of course, hey, you know what? Puppy vibes are always making us happy.
Yeah, it grounds me, honestly.
It does. So that's, okay, step kind of number one is, if you really want to feel immense amount of positivity, get out into nature or spend time around animals. Yes. They are absolutely calibrating at unconditional love. They're very innocent. They don't have any ulterior motive. So the more you can be around beings that are just unconditionally loving, you're going to feel, really safe. You're going to feel really grounded. And you will be able to manifest more easily because they just love you no matter what. Like if you come out and your hair is messy and your bag is under your eyes and you've got pimples all over your face or whatever it is, they're still going to love you. They're still going to be jumping around, wagging their tail. Now, what else can you do to really increase your manifestation and increase your polarity? So one thing is eradicate all negative thoughts. So, and there's a lot more than you would realize. So when you start to pay attention, it's kind of like growing a garden. You've got to pull out the weeds, and even if you like visually like identify with that metaphor, like every time a dark thought or a negative thought, and I really want to say, if it's about yourself, if it's about somebody else, if you're a little irritated with the person in front of you, all of these on the spectrum, anything that's kind of a little bit negative is still going to polarize you into that negative zone.
I think I want to put in one piece, you guys. And you know me, Parmar, I always say things. You gotta stop just being mean to yourselves.
Oh
like,
my God,
seriously, so sick of hearing it. So over it. It's like there's so many bigger things going on in the world than the extra weight you put on from being so blessed, getting to eat desserts and foods and whatever. Like these little things and our hosts and our bodies, like it's not as deep as we make it out to be. And actually we counteract our blessings by being focused on such minuscule, minor things that don't matter.
Like love yourself.
Like honestly, Barb, how do you feel about that stuff? Are you over people judging themselves? Because I am.
Oh yeah. And also people wanting to continually fix everything about themselves. Like you have to start first with grounding in just really a lot of gratitude for the fact that you have a life. Okay, no matter how that's manifested, start there. Start with the fact that you have two legs. Start with the fact that you have two hands. Maybe all you get is your sight. Maybe you get to watch movies all day long. You have to start with the littlest piece of things and then work from there. I know when I was extremely sick and I couldn't walk and I lost all of my ability to like swallow and my dexterity and those kind of things, I started with simple stuff like, I get to watch a movie today. Wow, this movie's so cool, right? I didn't have a job. I couldn't, really function. I was 80 pounds, but instead of focusing on all the things that were not going right in my life, I was focusing on all of the things that were wonderful. I had a roof over my head. I had food,
safety.
Right? So you can start with the most, the littlest amount of gratitude. No, I'm saying that wrong. You can start with not a lot and find things to be grateful for. And focus on that. And you'll see the expansion as you thank the universe. It kind of is like an obedient dog. As you say, good boy, this is wonderful, I love this, I love you. It's like, okay, I'm getting excited now. I'm going to give you more.
Yes, that's such a good way to explain that.
Yeah, like it's just...
I'll sit immediately. What else?
What else do you want?
What else?
And also using your word. The word is so powerful. So when we are using like journaling, the written word is just as powerful as the spoken word. It's intentional. We're putting it down, we're putting it out there, and we're setting a clear intention for ourselves. So that's another way that you can raise your vibration and you can really help to increase the manifestation process because you're telling the quantum field exactly what you're ordering. You're placing your order and it's effective. Now, this is the other thing, and it drives me crazy because, of course, in university I studied psychology. It drives me crazy when people sit down and write all of the terrible things about their lives and expect to feel better. Like, does that make any sense to you, Roxy?
No, that's like you're programming to like relive all these things, and then you're just like, let's just attract more because we're talking about manifestation. What you put out there is what you're going to get back. So if you're just sitting reading this awful list, well,
or going over the same trail, like really by sitting there in your victim mode and going over all the terrible things that have happened to you, you're reliving that loop over and over. And why psychologists tell people that they should come into their office and talk about all the miserable things that happened to them over and over, year in, year out, and write it down makes absolutely no sense unless you want to manifest all of that garbage stuff all over again.
Hey?
Yeah, hey?
Totally true. Yeah. Very Canadian gals.
Yeah. Just here on the ranch having fun. But
hey y'all.
But we're telling you this because it's powerful. Stop doing what doesn't work and start doing what does work and change your life. Changing your life can also happen super fast. Like, here's another example. Let's talk about anti-aging. Everybody's all into plastic surgery.
Yes.
Oh my God. And like, weight loss, plastic surgery, all these different things. And the glow up and all these creams, stuff you can put on your body, on and on and on, yada, yada, yada. Okay. I, for one, prefer just energy manifestation when it comes to the way you look, your skin, your hair, everything. I just envision it and then let the universe do the work. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. Now, I tend to like to eat vegetarian diet. That's for a different reason. It's not because I want to be skinny. It's because I love animals and I would prefer not to eat my friends. Just saying.
Huge animal lover. Me too.
Just saying. I don't like to eat my friends. So no judgment as well if that's not something that you subscribe to. Everybody's at a different place in their learning, a different place in their journey. And there was a time that I ate hot dogs and steaks like it was going out of style. What about you, Miss Rock?
Cute. Yeah, I think as of lately, I don't know, the food in the grocery stores was just not doing it for me. Like I'm very observant with what's going on with my body. So I've done the most strict cleanup. I'm eating all organic, and ever since I've made the switch, I can't go back now. Once you get into the all organic lifestyle, it's really hard for you to want to just get back into that routine of eating anything processed, and even like where I get my fruits and my vegetables too. Like, I love it. We talked about farmers markets, things like that.
Yes, locally sourced.
Yes.
And so the kind of, I guess, intelligence behind eating raw, fresh fruits and vegetables, eating organic, the way that it calibrates for me, or the reason why I've chosen to adopt this lifestyle. One thing I really noticed when I started eating a lot of leafy greens plus the entire color spectrum of fruits and vegetables,
every meal.
Yeah, rainbow, really bright foods. I found that my energy went through the roof, and a really crazy thing happened to my intelligence level. I'm able to process and synthesize information a lot more quickly. I run tons of different companies. I have multiple corporations. I can handle stress so well on a vegan, vegetarian diet. As soon as I have a pizza pop or something like that, I know we had pizza pops yesterday, which was kind of gross. But anyways, once in a while, it's okay to have a treat. But when I do, I feel a distinct lowering of my vibration.
100%.
Tired from that kind of food.
We even talked about that with our shoots. As soon as like meat and stuff, because I don't really eat very much either, but obviously we're still enjoying the human experience. You still have to, like, once in a while to
indulge.
Indulge. And it's like, you don't want to be so critical on yourself, where you're so hard on yourself when you make that decision. But instantly, as soon as we put in, I call meat dead energy. That's just me. And
it is dead energy.
Yeah, I do have moments where I'm like, I'll crave dead energy like everyone else. It's just, I really, really notice the way it sits in your stomach for so long. And when you were talking about the synthesizing and everything else, with being on like a raw, vegan, vegetarian diet, colors are brighter.
Yes.
Response
the way you see things.
And like, it's almost like, it's like, I can't explain it. You just got to do it yourself. Cleanse your body yourself.
Yeah. But you'll see too your eyes. Like, your
brighter.
eyes will become clearer.
Lighter. Yes.
We did smoothies this morning. We had power smoothies and big like greens and everything. And it's just, it allows us as well to have that, I don't know, you just have a joie de vivre. Like, it's just a little bit more energy.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Can you say that again?
It's French, and I might have totally said it wrong. I took French immersion, like grades 7 through 9, but I'm like unpracticed.
No, we're gonna get our French.
Yeah, we'll get our French back.
This is our accountability video.
Oh my God, totally right. Okay, so, we don't want to be too long-winded about this, but essentially the point of this video is that in every moment you have a choice of how you want to calibrate. And if you want a fantastic, mind-blowing, crazy, amazing life, the best way to get that with the least amount of drama is to do, think, be everything positive and really pay attention to what you're creating. And also, okay, one other thing that I really want to talk about is jealousy.
Oh, yeah.
When we are envious of other people's states of being, this is a super low vibrational toxic energy. And you know what? You could sit there and say, pick any celebrity and try to pull them apart and try to see ways why they shouldn't deserve this amazing life. Or you can have reverence for what they are as a creator. And I think it's really important too to understand that where you are is where you need to be, and Source knows where you need to be. The universe is always working at our best, for our best outcome. And for our greater good. Now I'm going to use an example in my life just as an actual teaching example, and then I'm going to ask the same of you. So I've built large multi-million-dollar companies. I love the process. I'm fairly good at it. Again, it's something that I'm passionate about. However, my companies at certain points would become kind of stagnant, and they wouldn't grow to where I needed or wanted them to be to create this fantastic existence that I saw within, my mental imagination. However, what I was realizing, or what I realize now in hindsight, is that all of the little pieces that seem like obstacles and struggles were really giving me the tools to be able to increase my bandwidth in terms of what I could handle, so that when that next stage or phase materialized, I was everything I needed to be to handle it. So the universe didn't give it to me until it put me through the tests to be able to handle it well and for it to be quite blissful. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, had I had the kind of success that I'm seeing in my later years in the beginning, I would have torpedoed, and I would not have been able to really make magic out of the things that I was, the energies that I'm playing with now. So Roxy, before we end this episode out, I'd like to hear your something from your life, or an example of how the universe has really done its job in helping to mold your journey.
Okay, can I actually too, I want to give them a cheat sheet, because I feel like that's something, if any of you guys are listening to this and you're like, I just want to try what they're saying, this is a cheat sheet that I've figured. So morning routine, absolute must. Why? Because you set yourself up and you also attract the energies of the things coming within your day. Journaling, crucial. I write and document my dreams, because there's always underlying messages within your dreams. And I also too, I document how I want my day to go as if it's already happened. So by doing that really, it can get quite trippy, because sometimes you're like deja vu and you're like, I literally manifested for these things to happen. With my life, I think as of lately more so, when I'm in the negative polarities, I find it's very hard and more difficult, and maybe I can still manifest things, but it's just not the experience that
You don't have the synchronicities and the waterfall of wonderful. Just
the magical
experiences. Yeah.
Explaining magical experiences, animals, numbers, repetitions, things like that. It's
synchronicities.
Yes, you get these magical moments, and I know for anybody on here watching, you're probably if you're not into that realm, it might sound insane, or they might just be like, oh, okay. But I had a pet bee for 2 weeks that I manifested. I've had so many random things that it's there's just no way.
There's no coincidence. It's not, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm kind of a silly wisher. I'll wish for silly little things, because it's the inner child in me is it would be cool if this would happen. And my dog example, my little dog, I just manifested her to a T. I was I took a notebook, I wrote, I want light eyes on a dog, because I already have a Pomeranian and she's got the darker eyes. I'm I want opposite contrast, cool pattern, white tip on the tail, white paws, and just something unique. I get this Pomeranian, she's got, and I do beauty, PMU, all that stuff.
Yeah.
She's got perfectly orange contoured cheeks, blue eyes.
So beautiful, little
right?
rock.
Yeah,
little rock.
Just gorgeous. Hammerheads, unique patterns, white tip tail, all white paws. So when you manifest something like that, where you're just I need to find this dog, and then I literally had that dog within a week, because I'm a fast manifester. Like I know it's happening. I know God's got me. I'm God's girl. So manifestation for me, I could go on and on about it. I think it's amazing. I love it. I wish it for everyone. High frequencies, journaling, meditating.
And love. Can we talk about love for a second?
Of course we can. We know how much you love Barb.
Okay.
Barb is a hopeless romantic.
Oh my God.
I am too, but Barb really loves love.
Okay. So now I want to qualify this though. So it's not like when we talk about love, I mean loving everything, like loving folding the clothes, loving the shirt you're folding, loving doing the laundry, loving the berries that you're cutting, loving the fact that somebody invented a knife. Like when you start infusing love into each and every action, each and every moment, everything that you do, even if it's hard, like sometimes I'm cleaning the entire school and, you know, like scrubbing the toilets or whatever it is, but just loving being in service of something greater. I just feel like your cup runneth over. It's just, you can't, I don't know. There's some days that I'm just so excited about living. I just can't even, you know.
Yeah, you definitely have a zest for life, which I love and adore. I feel like it would be almost good to follow you with a camera so people could be like, why is she so happy to be sleeping?
I know.
But it's like Cinderella. It's like, da 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 da. But romanticizing everything in your life.
Shouldn't it be that fun though? Like,
yes,
shouldn't cleaning and doing all the things that you love doing? What I can't figure out and what I've never been able to figure out is like I would go into these jobs. I remember if I was making pizzas or if I was making like Subway sandwiches at Subway, because I was a Subway sandwich artist.
You did everything.
I did everything. I've done everything. But like I'd be so happy doing like the garbages or mopping the floors, and I'd just be like singing to myself, and everybody else would be griping and grumping around that they had to have a job, and I was just like,
aren't they still?
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't understand. Like to me, work is like the most fantastic thing that there is. But attitude is everything. So again, we're going to kind of wrap it up. We don't want to annoy you with our positive polarity.
You're so welcome for our blessings.
Yeah.
Or if we don't want to annoy you, I'm like, you're welcome.
That's why I love you, Roxy. That's why you're the R to my B.
Oh, you're the B to my R. I love you, R.
Okay, people are going to...
We're like this way. Okay, sorry.
We're not dating and cute.
You're so cute, you make me sick.
Okay, anyways. Okay, so we're gonna peace out on this one. Hopefully you guys have an amazing week. We are probably have some new episodes coming up, I'm sure. We're gonna try to have every 2 or twice a week, right?
We're gonna do as much as we can, and we're gonna go based off of if everyone is feeling it, if it's helping you guys.
Comments,
please,
ask questions.
Yeah, please ask us questions, give us ideas and topics to go over. We're not saying we know everything, but what we do know is we do know love and light, and we do know peace. And we're just seeing issues going on within our world where we're like, if we have a voice and we can do something, which I know both Barb and I, how many times have I seen this woman pick somebody up, pull them out of the ashes, or just literally save. So it's time for us to utilize our voices. So if you guys have problems that you want help with,
We're here.
Just know we're completely here. We're ready. We're answering calls, messages, chats,
whatever it is.
We're going hard. So,
and we're going to do remote locations. So another thing that we've decided is at least probably once a month or once every 2 months, we're going to go someplace really crazy cool, and then we're going to be doing lives there so that we can kind of explain like the purpose of adventure and travel and how you can really manifest your dreams, because it is possible. You don't have to fall into this rigid, robotic, societal job. This is what you have to do, grudge away for 50 years of your life, and then you have nothing left, right? Yeah. So we're gonna make some magic. My little angel. Oh, that's an epic. My little angel. Okay, we will see you in the next episode. So.
You know what it is. It's your man Jay Woo.
And your girl Chachi La Muñeca from Who Got Next Radio every Tuesday night.
10 p.m. Eastern right here on Jess TV via Roku Nationwide live.
From Florida!
That's right. So make sure you tune in every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. More independent artists, more videos, more black-owned business.